Hey, so I have a new camera for making videos on the go, and this is my first test of it. This is recording on the Panasonic GH5. This is a 4K mirrorless camera. Now it's technically a still camera that happens to also do video. And there's some mixed reviews out there on the camera, but what I've discovered is, as far as feature set goes, it's the only choice for doing professional videos on a compact, still-based camera. And so really the big issue that people have with the GH5 right now is actually the autofocus. So right now I am testing the autofocus, not really moving, just sort of sitting here at my desk, and I'm hand holding the GH5 if I can just move around. The cool part about the GH5 is it actually has dual IS, meaning the camera itself has image stabilizer. The sensor in the camera is actually image stabilized, and meaning the sensor actually shifts up and down, left and right, sort of to make sure that as I'm moving and hand holding, everything is not so choppy. I'm literally hand holding this camera right now, and as you can see, it's quite steady. It is getting heavy, so I might wind up putting like my little tabletop tripod, which is over there. Where is it? Right there. I might be putting that on the bottom of the camera just to help me hold it, because right now I'm just sort of holding the camera itself, which is not the most comfortable. And so that's a nice thing. It has image stabilizer in the body, but then the lens that I picked is the 12 to 35. It's the second version, the Mark II or whatever they're calling it, which also has image stabilizer, meaning the lens actually shifts. And because it's a Mark II, it actually works with Panasonic's dual IS system, meaning both are working together to make sure that everything is nice and steady. If I go ahead and I turn off IS, you'll find it'll be a little bit shakier. Now it's off, and it's going to be a little bit shakier, still not super shaky unless I turn off the image stabilizer in the body itself. I'm going to turn that back on, and now it's back on. I'm also using the Rode VideoMic Pro on top of the camera, and that's how I'm getting the audio instead of using the built-in audio of the GH5 specifically. I'm using the VideoMic Pro on top. So this camera was supplied to me by the Mac warranty company. This is going to be a new partner of mine. They are going to be supplying some equipment to use, to review, to talk about, to teach about, and I'm not getting paid by them in any way. It's just them supplying the equipment necessary for me to continue making the content. So if you have any questions that you'd like me to address, to answer, questions about gear, if I can get my hands on it, I'm going to create videos about it. So please comment, please let me know what you're interested in learning. Things are being, I literally just got back. I didn't mute anything, I didn't prepare for this. I just charged the battery, got everything going. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna zoom in. Yeah. So right now I'm at f2.8 on this lens, and I'm at 160th of a shutter speed. And again, this is the first time I'm using a camera that's really good for video. I'm used to using just a webcam. Actually, let me flip around so you can see. So that's the typical setup I use for my videos in my office, because I have a 4K and a 1080p webcam, and then I have my Yeti mic right there. All right, so that's that. It's it's interesting. People are complaining about autofocus, but from what I can tell, I got the flip out screen going right now. I'm trying not to look at it, but I'm really trying to get used to the camera still, because I literally just got it like an hour ago, and it looks like it's staying in focus even when I shift it around. So I don't know. Very interesting to see. I do plan on upgrading the firmware, because there is now the Vlog firmware upgrade, so I can actually color grade videos, which I'm also trying to learn how to do. I can color grade the videos better from the GH5 if I use a Vlog, which is kind of like a RAW type of thing, with a lot of dynamic range to utilize and so on. So let me just show you real quick. There are the boxes. I'm not kidding. That's what I'm using right now. It's really exciting. Yeah. Where's Layla's camera?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Dad.
You don't know where your camera is?
Yeah. Beetle, beetle, beetle.
Advantages of having a tabletop tripod is being able to put the camera literally wherever you want, even if it's a low angle. The downside to a tabletop tripod is how low it is, because I can't just mount it up high. I would need to literally change tripods. If there was a tall wall or something, I could then mount it up high. Well, right now it's on a tall wall. Literally the wall's up to here. And it's just sitting there, and I can put the camera wherever I want and walk away. The cool part is the Rode mic that I have is a shotgun mic, so it's really recording mostly my voice, but it is actually getting the wind as well. So if I stop talking, you should hear the wind, but I can change that. So I just put up the limiter, which should actually help with the wind noise. There's also wind reduction setting, which I have off, which I could turn on at any point as well. That's a digital wind reduction. I could also put a dead cat on top of this, but I'm not going to. Kind of like wind noise a little bit, when it's okay, when it's a little wind noise. So why am I recording all of this right now? Ooh, that is not in focus. Get me. There we go. So why am I recording this right now? Why am I walking around the yard, sharing some of my thoughts? Well, I'm getting used to the camera. I want to learn this camera before I make some more educational content from the camera. I want to make sure I learn it inside and out. I want to kind of share my thoughts on it as I learn it and as I go through it, and as I'm playing with the features and playing with settings and exposure and all that stuff, enjoying the how light works with video. Because I'm so used to doing things from my office. Let's go that way. Let's go other way. I'm so used to doing things from my office that it's a nice change of pace to do things from anywhere. But it's also a learning experience. So hopefully if you're watching this, whatever this is, this little compilation of videos created from the GH5 in the first couple days of me having it, hopefully you're learning something at the same time as I'm learning something about this awesome camera setup. And hopefully if you pick up a GH5, you'll be a few steps ahead from where I am. Now, I have been watching endless videos on YouTube of the GH5 from so many different people, and I'm excited that I'm starting to put some of it into use, but at the same time, figure some stuff out on my own of what works best for me, because a lot of people are telling me, don't worry about the autofocus in the camera, just use manual focus. That's all good and well, but my eyes suck. Alright, I like my eyes. I just have poor vision, so being able to use autofocus is quite beneficial for me, at least. And yeah, I've never played with focus peaking before, so that's also going to be a learning experience. So again, master the camera first before getting to more advanced things. That's always what I recommend. Another thing to figure out is how to hold the camera when it's on a tabletop tripod. There are people like Casey Neistat and so many other vloggers who use the GorillaPod, which I am not a fan of the GorillaPod in any way, shape, or form. I prefer a more steady tabletop tripod, like the Really Right Stuff tabletop tripod I'm using, which is just a little bit too low normally, and the Manfrotto Pixie Evo 2, which I've seen before. I've never used it, but it's just a beautiful little tabletop tripod that expands. But anyway, it's a ball head, right? So right now I was having it so it was straight up, and the camera was perfectly, you know, flat on top. Right now I have it on angle, so it actually gives me a little bit more of a sturdy hold, because I actually have my arm against my chest, and the tabletop tripod is like this, and the camera is on an angle still aimed at me, so it's giving me a little bit more of a sturdy stance. But I'm getting used to it, figuring out what's best for this guy. So one of the things that I'm trying to figure out is if I'm going to do the sunglasses whenever I record, so that I can look at the screen, but at the same time make it look like I'm looking at the lens, which is a Casey Neistat trick. Or am I going to wear my regular glasses? I wear prescription glasses, so am I going to wear my regular glasses and not always look at the screen? Maybe just frame myself and then call it a day. But what I really like about this setup is I've got quality video. I can work with really fun light, control the exposure with aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. I'm going to purchase the Vlog, which is $99 from Panasonic, so that I can start color grading and really just have complete control over every aspect of the camera. So there's a lot to decide, and I don't know what I'm going to do yet as far as sunglasses versus glasses and whatnot, but I'm really enjoying this process. I'm starting to learn more about the settings, as I've said already in this video. I keep looking at more tips and tricks and advice and reading the manual. Yes, I read the manual. I do read the manual. RDFM. And yeah, you know, right now I'm in my in-laws' dining room, and this wallpaper is a fantastic background, especially with the window right there. It adds some cool shadow right behind me. Right now it's being diffused a little bit with flowers that are right next to me, so it's kind of like going through the flowers and then being diffused, and it's really cool. Anyway, right now I have the GH5 on my tabletop tripod on the dining room table, and that's that. Oh, one other thing, I installed the Panasonic app, and it took me a little bit to get it set up because for some reason, even with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, it was still not going well. But I finally got it, and that's another way that I can frame from a distance. So I'll be playing with that more often, and we'll see. So I know that you might be wondering, you know, what does this setup look like at this point? I've talked about it. So I'm gonna record. I am going to record right now of how this actually looks from where I stand. So here we go. So I'm recording right now. The audio is still coming off of the GH5 with the Rode VideoMic Pro mic, but there's the mic, there's the camera, there's the lens, flippy screen, and then of course the tabletop tripod. I mentioned how low it is. It cannot be raised up. It only goes that low. And what I can do though is I've got a tool, a product called the MTX, also from Really Right Stuff. And it actually goes in between the legs and the ball head, and it can actually raise it up. And the cool part is that can fit in a pocket, so I can just travel with that as well and raise it up. But it does require me unscrewing the tripod, for the legs from the ball head before I can get that on there. But for the most part, this is a very compact tripod, lightweight and nice. But that's why I kind of want to try the Manfrotto Pixie Evo 2 because I am interested in seeing how that does compared to the Really Right Stuff for a vlogging, filmmaking, tabletop tripod, because it is low, but then also has legs that expand to raise it up. So much to learn, so much to try. There's a lot of cool stuff coming. I'm excited. But you tell me, what do you think about the glasses versus the sunglasses thing? Because right now I have no sunglasses on, and if I look at the screen, it looks like I'm looking at the screen. If I look at the lens, it looks like I'm talking to you, which is obviously more engaging. So, which do you prefer? Glasses or sunglasses? Expect some great content coming from the GH5. Again, comment, let me know what type of content you're looking to see, if you have any questions about equipment, and I will try to get my hands on it. So thanks for watching.